Yeah.
Start off the day on a good note. All right, but you know we start first. What does this tool do? And we got Uncle Dennis on the camera. We're on the stationary camera. We got Jacob in the house.
Yep, we got the chat right here so we can see people loading in. We'll full screen it for extra X-ray vision.
So yeah, so we can see it. Okay, we got lots to go over tonight. We know there is a pre-release, so we're going to talk about that a little bit. What else do we got for you? We've got, Chris is not in the house. He's at the Red Wings game, so when you've got the screen on for the Red Wings game, be sure to look for him. He's probably like jumping up and down somewhere.
Happy Tuesday.
To start out, tell us where you're all from. I know we get some newbies on the show, but we have these people called the Glass Academy Addicts. They are happy to answer any question that we cannot get to. We're going to start out right now.
Yeah, we're seeing people saying hello, welcome in. Let's see a couple hellos from everybody, and it's really nice having a pretty cool product release coming up today.
Yeah, so if you've been with us for a while, and we can tell by the orders, the regulars have started ordering. We do product releases because it helps us understand what product we need to make. If we come up with something just because we really like it, doesn't mean that the general public will like it. So we kind of put all the colors and styles out there, and you guys get to vote with your dollars about which type of snail you would like. There was a lot of requests for snails. Unbeknownst to me, one day Jake just started making them, and all of a sudden we have phenomenal snails, which sounds really weird, but
phenomenal
it's true.
Snails.
Phenomenal. No, phenomenal. Okay. So without further ado, do you want to show them the snails before we show them about the tool?
Maybe let's just get the tool out of the way and just show these people a brand new tool in the shop, something we work with, give them some technical information, and then
go from there. Hey, we see Mississippi in the house. We got Pennsylvania.
I see Dave Worth on there. Very good.
Yeah.
All kinds of cool people.
Ontario. Thank you, thank you.
Very good.
Okay, shout out to Uncle Dennis on the camera and Sam on tech support. Let's go with the tool.
Let's do it. So check it out over here, folks. This was Michelle's idea.
Oh, yeah.
You better be talking about this with me.
All right.
I asked her, what's the tool of the day? And she stood here and looked around the shop for a while. I was just kind of being lazy, didn't want to think about it. And then she came up with a great tool to show off. Now, the hose that's attached to the side of it has nothing to do with the actual mechanism.
The pipes or all the fuses. These are like when the fuse
Just
blows.
bought those fuses.
Yeah, it's right there. So this is called a GB4.
Can you circle it with your hands? What is it?
GB4.
It's that box.
Computer box. And this box is, here's like all the little keypads, and you plug in the numbers. Clearly number 6 is a number we use because it's all dirty. But there's idle, meaning it's doing nothing. Run means it's coming to temperature, and hold means it's holding at a temperature. So we want that temp when we're working. We're going with unit 2 today. The temperature is 941 degrees. Step number 1. So this is a really cool piece of equipment because years ago, and I guess we could back off and talk about it out here. I feel like I'm backed in a corner.
She's in the corner, folks.
All right, so years ago, what would happen is if you were blowing glass, the glass furnace was here, and attached to it was a side oven that would be as hot as the glass, but slowly the further away you got from it, like a conveyor belt, the colder it got. So you would make pieces and stick them in this oven, and there was someone who was just like, you know how someone monitors loaves of bread and pizzas? There's someone that just monitored the glass and cooling it off. Now, I was told the story when I was being trained by Lino that one year the master did not get along with his team, and so they were messing with them because sometimes you could put, say, a goblet in there, and if it wasn't like 100% straight, the cooling master, I don't know, they must have had a name, could tweak it. Could bend it a little bit, make it straight, make sure it's cooling properly, and move it down the line. Well, this master did not get along with his team, and so the guy that was cooling the items made them all crooked. So when they came out, the finished pieces, they were like, you're not any good. You can't make straight pieces. So
horrible.
Yeah, I thought that was really interesting. So the trick is to have a team that you work well with. Everyone gets along. Now, this piece of equipment saves us lots of labor. It's a computer program, and it slowly cools the glass overnight. Or if we're making our little glass twisties or something where we need some glass flattened or slumped, it heats the glass up, melts it, and then you cool it at another rate. So there's 6 units, I think, that could be tied to each GB4.
Yeah.
And you can show them.
Yeah, well, I'll point out one more thing about it is that she said these are the ones that are used the most, but actually those are the ones that are used the least, because all these other ones, A is the most used, and it is smeared nice and clean, rubbing all the dirt off right onto our hands, and it's kind of the opposite there. But this is a beautiful thing. We've got 4 annealers that we have hooked up to it. And we've got a new guy, Matt, in the shop that I'm teaching how to blow glass at this moment, and I've been teaching him the mechanics of this. It seems very difficult. It's actually pretty simple once you get it figured out, but it's a really beautiful system and something that's super important to the glass shop and super cool. And it is a beautiful thing that it functions as our hose holder and our fuse holder. And then you see also up here one of the very first gnomes we made back with Jason in the shop. And I'm sure many of you that are watching the show remember Jason. He was our assistant after Joey, and he did an amazing job. He was a really genuine guy. Love Jason. Have kept in touch with him. He's super cool. And that was a classic one. We were laughing when that one came out, the annealer. So there we go, folks. That is the What Does This Tool Do portion of the show.
And that thing too, when we first got ours, I mean, that's like not a couple $1,000s, 10,000. I can't remember how much that piece of equipment is. And it's super essential to any glass shop, but when you go to buy that, you're just like, ugh, kill me now. It's like one of those pieces of equipment that's no fun, but is super essential.
Yeah, and you can't really make it yourself unless you're a robot.
No.
So,
okay. What do we got going on?
That's a great tool thing in the beginning. Maybe before we even show them the style we're going to highlight first. The idea with tonight's show, folks, is we're opening up pre-sales at 6:30 to the general public on our brand new product, the snails. And we have 5 different category of snail, just like we've done with gnomes and like we have with slugs, except these are themed categories. We're going to go through each 5 of them, but maybe we should just start by making one and showing them what it looks like.
Yeah, and I think we should show a close-up because I want to see what it is before.
And we did have to talk Michelle into this a little bit. As you know, glass blowers do watch our show and love our show, and we appreciate that. But it took a little convincing to get Michelle ready to let us show off the exact process of our brand new product, the snail. But we're going to do it because you know you all want to see it, and we love doing them. They're so fun to make, and they are just super cool. So this is what she's showing off, the fantasy style. And check it out up here, Uncle Dennis, right next to the sign. These guys have golds, they have iridescent, they have a total swirl, ice cream cone looking pattern. Each color is going to be totally unique and one of a kind, and that's the beauty of everything we make at the Glass Academy. Some of them you got a clear body, little pink action swirl. They've kind of got, depending on what you like, look at those eyes, oh my God, he's looking right at you. Depending on what you like, there's kind of a side that we coil up and have be the front tip, and then there's a vortex kind of going down the rabbit hole side. So it just depends on what you like in the way you're going to display it in your home. But these are all super cool. We're going to get it started. This is going to be the warmer-up. We're starting with the fantasy slug here, folks.
So these I have never done with Jake, so I have no idea how I'm assisting here. We'll see how it goes.
That's the beauty of the show, too. When we get Mom in here and she's got a brand new product, maybe it'll go even better and we're going to decide something new. Maybe we'll lose a piece and it'll be a pretty cool thing for everyone to see.
It's so funny, like lose a piece. It's like, I lost it, where did it go? Lose a piece for us means like it falls on the floor, it doesn't work. When we do these shows, like the words sound different to me. We all know what they mean, but I don't know that the public does. So this, what Jake is doing the snail, he's getting the glass from the furnace. These snails are solid glass. They are still in the realm of glass blowing. Even though they are not blown, they are not hollow. All the tools and techniques that we're using are the same as glass blowing.
One
Yes.
thing before you continue on with that is that I noticed this pipe, we have 4 of these beautiful counterweights, and if you all remember our VIP pumpkin show, October of last year, we had a double the size pipe like this, and we were pulling a long thing of cane with a giant glob on it, and the pipe actually broke right off on the marver while we were making the piece. It was ridiculous. This one has a weld very similar on the bottom of the pipe, and I can actually, when we've been making these snails, I've been hearing it creaking and cracking a little bit. So this is the first one. I said maybe Michelle's gonna cause us to lose one if she hasn't done these before with us, but chances are this pipe could break on this piece, and that would be crazy if it happened on the show again. But I'm just forewarning you all, there could be some treachery. So these fantasy ones are really cool, and you got to get, it's a pretty sizable amount of glass to be completely honest with these snails. They're pretty thick, they're pretty girthy, and they've got to be so that they can hold their shape really nicely. But we're going to go...
So this is the fantasy version you're doing.
Fantasy, that's right. And we got 3 fantasy colors here, 3 of which I'm not going to name because at least if we're showing you the process, we can keep our colors a little bit secret. And I'm gonna go in for multiple coats.
All right, here's another story. So you steal with your eyes. When Chris and I went to Italy in the 90s, we went into a glass factory and we got kicked out. We were watching and stuff, and they're like, what are you doing in this part of the room? You're not allowed to be here.
Yeah, get out of here.
So we got kicked out, and then we came back after lunch and found a tour and jumped in with the tour. And because we started asking all the right questions, they kind of were like, hey, you know what's going on. So all of a sudden we're in the private room.
Oh, baby.
And glassblowers steal with their eyes. That's kind of the thing.
So they're guilty of it too?
Yeah. Oh, I'm totally guilty of it. That's why I'm very aware of it. You can't read about this in a book.
So I think it was 5 or 6 different colors in here. I will say that it's gonna be a pink mix. There's quite a few pinks, a little bit of golds in here. Couple other accent colors, and I'm going to start to pull it out, and the first thing is the shell. First things first, the shell, so I'm going to start to shape it up, and then you're going to see, this is a cool move that it took us, I mean, we probably made 12 or 15 of these before we finally got something we were satisfied with, and then we figured out, or tried to figure out, the actual process of making them quicker, making them come out clean, making them look the way we want them to look. And look at the twistage I'm giving it now.
So he's holding the shears and twisting with his left hand, which is making the color swirl up. And now he wants to keep the core heat hot, so he's working very fast.
Looking like a unicorn horn, it's flapping all over the place. So I'm gonna do one more heat on it, and then we're gonna go for the old swirl. I like to get it lined up a little bit so it's not too crazy on me, but that's totally a unicorn horn right now.
Now don't blink or you guys are gonna miss it.
The timing of this is so important, you just can't be messing around at all.
Yeah, you can't mess it up. Here, you've never done this. Do this.
So just hold her at that angle for me. Stop.
Rolling it up, rolling it up.
Then the core heat's so important so that I don't hurt the jacks. I need to have enough heat right now to get this line in there and not be really wrenching on the glass and put divots into the tool. Then I can go in here and kind of finesse it up a little bit. If I think it's leaning one way or the other, I'll take it here and give it a little love. And that is shell creation. This is a little bright colored one. I like it a lot, light colors. So now we're doing a Maurice and a punny.
Okay.
The key thing about this, and the timing's super important, I purposefully didn't say anything to Michelle as I was in the middle of that to go grab the bit and get started, because this thing can't be flopping. If the assistant comes over with the glass too hot and it's still moving up and down, there's no way I'm gonna be able to get this little bit of clear glass that we're gonna punny up on so that when we break it off of the pipe,
Whoops.
really leave it chubby on the tip.
All right.
I also got some diamonds over there for you, just for convenience.
I know for next time.
So this is so when we punny it up, I'm not going to lose any of the color that we spent time and money on putting on the backside of this fella. Give it a squish down. I really try and get it into the body as much as possible.
Are you flashing it?
Yes.
Okay.
And you'll see when you guys order these pre-orders, you're going to have the option to pick and choose which one you want based on how quickly they go and which group you picked. And you can notice, and just by different subtleties, there's different things about, maybe on some of the first few, I did these a little bit different. Now, the first maybe 10 or 12, we didn't even save, and I did them all out of recycle, and it was just a learning process. Once you started adding color, there was a lot of growth and change of opinion on what looks best. Bunny's perfect.
Oh, good. Look at that. We're off to a good start.
And so you will see that there are some differences in each piece other than the color. Thank you very much. Now we got it flipped around. Look at the colors coming out, darkening up. We got some beautiful golds in there that we're gonna iridize in a minute. And it's gonna look real good.
Okay, clarity. We do pre-orders so we know what style everyone wants. On April 19th, we will have numbers on them, just like our normal show, all on a table with a number. You'll have a special code if you've pre-ordered to go in, and you can pick the number you want, type in your special code that will add up to be 0 on the receipt, and off that snail will go to your happy home.
And if I'm correct, that is for in-house and for online?
So Tuesday, everyone gets fair game to pick a number from the table.
Okay.
Thursday is for locals, then we're open on Thursday.
Beautiful. And we do, as we're making them, make a separate batch. It's kind of like when you have, what was the show? There was some sort of resale show or like super sale event where you got a certain amount of supplies and it's a 3-day event. We split it off and we save a certain array for the in-house people and save a certain array for the online people, so nobody's getting the short end of the stick.
If you miss the show on Tuesday, you know, they're still going to be online and we constantly fill them. So if you're busy Tuesday night, do not panic. We make more because we know a lot of people will want them.
So let's go for a pink body on this one.
Pink, the third pink in? Or
this guy right here.
And I'm taking 2 gathers, correct?
Yeah, we need it like this size, like not huge, like that big.
Ping pong ball?
Ping pong ball sounds perfect. So the key, while we were talking there, the first step to doing this move is I heated it up and I flattened off where that was connected to the pipe. So we got a beautiful smooth connection on the bottom here, perfect for growing snail slime right out of the bottom of the piece. Very important, because obviously a snail's not a snail if it's not sliming.
So this is the new pink we showed off on the experimental show.
That's the perfect size. That's actually a different pink. I got 2 different pinks. That's a lighter one. We got a beautiful pink selection now.
Where was it? We all looked. So Chris just came back. He left his phone.
Give him a wave, Chris.
And we all looked around for it. We all walked everywhere, and none of us saw it.
All right, this is real important here.
Okay,
here we go.
This.
Nice and soupy. I will say that move right there, there's so much going on in the way that was presented. That was perfect, Mom.
Thank you, thank you.
And the way we lay it on there, that one really took us a long time to figure out. And it's a really cool move because we'll show you, I'll go into a little more detail on the next set about how the face turns out, that it's so important to do it in that way. Boom, boom. This pink is so cool. Watch it changing right now in front of our eyes. So then we got his eyes there. I'd really like to melt in, this is a newer move, melt in those tips of the eyes so they round out and look real snail-like. That's a heck of a starter-upper right there.
I know, pretty cool.
And the final move right here, we got the eyes melted in. Watch this move.
What's the final move?
Boop. The eye spreader. Nate, when he's looking at you, he's like,
that's for
what?
Sharon Watch.
Applause.
Remember how she was all excited? Let's do the wave. All right, so the last step really is the stamp.
Yes, and so this was another, and everything we do, every new product, it's like the slugs, we figured out how to get the stamp on the bottom before knocking it off and have it kind of part of the process, and it actually makes the indent on the bottom perfectly so the snails wiggle, the slugs wiggle a little bit on the table. These we want fairly sturdy, so we've got the stamp going to be going right where the punty mark is. So I'm actually going to go for a little reduction first. This is going to bring out all the golds. This is a pink and gold. This is an expensive, fancy snail here.
Sorry, I walked away.
It's all good. Will you cut it for me?
Yep.
Actually, I'll probably do one more. That one thick, that darker band right there. I know.
Why is it so tight?
The hair, yeah. Blinging. So then we're going to take it over here. Michelle's got the stamp set up. And I said the punny was perfect because it didn't touch any of the color. It's on there perfectly well. I'm just going to tap the pipe. Look how lightly I'm going to tap the pipe. This thing's going to pop off and slime right onto another scenario. That came off perfect. And now...
So you know how, like, if you get a Louis Vuitton bag or you want an Audi car or a Mercedes-Benz, you're looking for that symbol so you can show everyone, like,
that's right.
Hey, man, I got the real deal. So if you're getting a snail, the real deal is...
Glass Academy, OG, here he comes. It's like his racing stripes right there. Sponsored by the Glass Academy.
All right, to pick it up that way?
Yes, that's fine.
And away we go. So I'm gonna say the left side's better.
Yep, my bad.
Nice, very nice, very nice. And inside there was a bunch of Ukrainian eggs, so those are back in house for those of you who are asking.
We did a big old slug, no pun intended, of Ukrainian eggs today, and it was sweet. So that's a great starter upper. That's really darn cool. I think we're going to be having that fantasy display switch over to something else.
Yep. So do you want to talk about the blown item and come back?
And let's talk about the custom order, yeah.
All right.
So that was the warmer upper, folks. We're going to do a few more snails. We're going to highlight the 5 of our sweet color patterns that we got going on, different combos. But if you take a look on here, we also have tonight a custom order. And I put this sweet marker in my pocket so I could do one of these. Little emphasis, and then we're going to really highlight the name here so we know who the heck is getting this, because that was kind of light, folks. That's for Jim, folks. And Jim came in the other day. He's been following us for quite a while. He watches the Facebook Live feeds, and he came in with his photographing group that he organizes. They had about 12 to 15 different amazing people photographing in here. And we were blowing production, and they took all these amazing, cool shots of the glass, and then they had an opportunity to walk around the gallery and check it out, and he fell in love with this guy right here. And he fell in love with it because it's a cactus margarita. But he also thought that I don't really drink margaritas this size per se. You know, this would probably be like a 10-ounce pour. It's a stiff, not so sugary, tasty margarita. He wants a bigger glass, and he wanted a little bit of different color. We're gonna add a beautiful, many of you may know the color I'm talking about, copper blue to the glass. The other thing to notice is the bubbles we got going on in there. We don't do this move often. It's time consuming. It takes extra glass, but it's a really rewarding, beautiful thing. So Jim, if you're watching with us tonight, as I think you will be, holler at us. Let us know you're in the chat. I'm going to take a look at the comments in a moment, but I'm going to get it started. and get the bubbles trapped on the inside. Yeah, Uncle Dennis can show off the mulch. That's a great idea. I'll get my color situated, and if you guys want to show off the next brand of slug.
So we figured mulch was something we all know in the yard, and go through these like super slow. The details, the colors are beautiful. Again, when we have them for sale, they'll be on a very basic platform so that you can see all the fancy colors. They're all unique in terms of their color pattern. They're pretty cool. They look very fluid and like a snail. I like the one up here with the light shining right now. It goes right through the body. It's pretty cool. So the mulches are a lot of natural colors, what you'd think of mulch in your yard. In fact, we have some mulch right here. So very similar to, you know, those natural colors is what this one is. Give you an idea of scale. If I put one in the palm of my hand. So they are solid glass, probably about 4 inches or so long, maybe 3 inches tall. I also see these, like, you can put these on your table, but you could put them in your house plants. We asked a question last week, what type of house plants do you have? And there were tons of comments, so people really do have house plants. And I think this is kind of a, you know, sometimes in your plant you have a flat space and your plant spills over. You could put a snail there.
All right, Jim, I heard you're watching from YouTube. Hopefully you got some family around you, and we're gonna get it going here.
Oh, so Jim was fun too. When he came in, he was like, I put your show on, and I don't mean to watch the whole thing, and then all of a sudden 2 hours have passed, and I've watched the whole thing.
Super good. So I'm gonna pull this color over a little closer over here because this is one of the most electric blues that we have. It's called copper blue because it takes copper to make this blue. You melt copper down into the glass.
I interrupt this session to say, Pammy, Uncle Dennis is my side of the family, and you get a nice shout out. You're doing a great job with the camera work tonight.
All right. Pammy's straight out of Australia. Represent a little love for the Detroit city. And if anybody's joined us that's watching new tonight, we're actually in Dearborn. We're in Metro Detroit. We're about 15 minutes outside of the, maybe 20 max to the heart of the city. And we're here.
Yeah, we got to say that more often. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell and you can sign up for notifications. Let's do, it's called housekeeping. We are located at the home of Henry Ford. Glass Academy is a small privately owned studio. If you like what you're seeing, please check out our website, which will go, the website is live. The sales go live in 5 minutes or so.
Yeah, take a look at the website, see what we offer. We really focus on drinkware, all kinds of other things, and we really try and mix it up for each show and have something different. And it's kind of nice, you know, Chris goes to the Wings game. It's nice to have a little different bit of energy and switching it around. I know I didn't go to the show. I think it was 2 before this, maybe it was 1:55. I wasn't feeling so good, a little under the weather. So I dipped out of that show, and it's nice to switch it up a little bit and have a little bit of change up. And especially it feels great having a brand new product that we're really proud of being revealed, because this one was a long time in the making. So I got 3 coats of that dense blue on there. I'm blowing a bubble into it right now. Before, this is not going to be enough glass to make an entire margarita glass at all.
Did you ask how big he wants his margarita glass? Someone said they're the size of fish bowls lately.
Yeah, he said about fish bowl size. So we might get a 2-arm special going on. But this is a really cool process to put the bubbles in here. We use what's called the Bolatone mold. And we've used it before on various products to get some beautiful texture on the outside. Very infrequently do we use it to get texture to capture bubbles when we gather over the glass. So the trick is I'm shaping it up a small bit. I'm going to get the texture on there. I'm not going to blow out all these indents. I'm going to leave them as indents and then gather clear glass over it. and it'll capture bubbles in each of the little indents and make a beautiful, perfectly symmetrical bubble pattern.
Do you know in the old-fashioned days it was a bed of nails? You'd like pound nails through the wood in a repetitive pattern to get that.
Really?
Yeah.
You like squish it on there, roll it on there?
Roll it on there.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It's 6:30, you guys. The website is live.
Tech support reminder.
So jump on in if you want to pre-order your snails. They're on the Gathering Point page. They're also on the home page.
It's really cool seeing what people's favorites are, and that's the reason we're going to go through all 5 of these different styles, because they all are beautiful in their own justification. Why don't you come around this side for this move, Uncle Dennis? I'm going to drop it in the mold, and I'll pull it out and show you what that texture looks like. You see how smooth it is now? The heat is super important to have it colder up at the neck, a little hotter on the tip so it doesn't get caught in the mold, and that is just treacherous business when that goes down. I could take all the time I want to show you this shot right now. Normally, if I was making an ornament or if I was making a wine glass, I would have already been at the bench with this thing blown up half as big as it is right now. But because I'm not blowing it up at all, I actually want it to stiffen up. And right now, it's already getting much harder than it was.
That is like the hardest thing for me to watch. It's like losing that core heat.
I know, it's super
like,
strange.
ah.
Right out the mold too, it feels very foreign. It's glowing kind of a green, but let's compare it next to the blue that we got here. That glass is still probably at least 1600 degrees, so it's definitely glowing a different temperature. It's like when your kitchen stove turns on, if you got an electric stove, it's not glowing black, it's glowing orange.
Hey, you know what happened yesterday?
Huh.
It was snowing.
It was snowing, big old puff balls. It wasn't cool at all.
And what's happening
it was
now?
Pretty.
You're in shorts.
Yeah, it's a nice day today.
And t-shirt, feels good. This is like the perfect glass blowing weather. We're not freezing our butts off.
Just checking out some comments here.
I see that.
Sharon's in the house, Dawn's in the house, Bill's in the house, Julie's in the house. A lot of Glass Academy addicts up in the house right now.
So that leads me to ask, how many newbies are on the show right now? If you're new, can you type in the chat bar, new or just joining? We always like to know new people.
And Julie did, she just mentioned right there, get an amazing margarita glass on happy hour night with this same color or the same texture, bubble texture in there.
I think we posted all those. Those are all on Facebook.
What's that?
All the margarita glasses. We did a photo shoot.
Oh,
now,
yeah.
there was someone asking if we're doing another margarita class. I think we're going to schedule one in May.
Sweet.
So if you want to come, we'll post that up.
So I got to move fast here. The blue's soft. It's going to heat up quick. I don't want all this glass on the pipe. I'm actually going to do one of these real quick. I don't want it to be a super thick margarita glass. I just want that texture on the inside. So I'm going to get rid of a nice ball of clear here, and instead of just tossing it on the floor, because I got time now that I got it situated, I'm going to take it over to the clear bucket and make sure that this glass gets reused and not mixed into anything else.
All right, we got a Florida flag coming.
Nice.
So if you guys know about that, the flags.
We're waiting
Send
on
us a
more
flag
flags.
of your state.
What are those type of flags called, those small ones?
I know, I was going to
Miniature
say, mini
flags?
flags?
4 by 6 inch? I
That's
feel like
the
they'd have a
size.
name. Like a Matchbox flag or something. Maybe not. So now I'm spending a little more time heating this up. Mom, could you turn up the gas just a hair, the top lever, just the tiniest little fraction?
This?
Yeah. Other way. Perfect. Thanks. Getting that core back hot again. It was ice cold when I went for the gather, so I didn't lose any color in the furnace. Now I've got some motion in it again. I'm getting pretty good at this margarita size, or the shape of cup up top, but it took me quite a while, just like the snails, to figure out that beautiful margarita bowl shape.
Meanwhile, I'm going to ask you guys something. I want to think about this. Everybody, do you know your blood type? Does everyone know their blood type? This is a question that has a response later. I'm A positive.
Do you know mine?
I think you're A. If you know your blood type, type it in the search bar.
Low light. A little lighter. Good.
Woo-hoo-hoo. So I was blowing really light. Well, another thing we're going to do later in the show is show you some measurements of how many ounces. There were a couple of questions.
Blow. Good.
About how many ounces do our products hold, and they're a little deceiving.
We're gonna puff it out a hair more, just a wee smidge, but this thing is perfectly on center. It went out really nice. Yeah, that's gonna be really cool because I'm still learning my ounces perfectly. It's not easy just guessing the amount of ounces in a glass. Blow real light. That's perfect.
All right, keep the blood types coming.
One more light puff. Good.
I think it's really interesting.
Oh, Jim. Woo-hoo-hoo.
What's my next move?
Next move is going to be this mold, 1.5 coats of the deep green, the emerald green. Gentle tap in the mold. It's kind of like a pumpkin stem where it's really hot. Tap in the mold, light heat, and then bring it right over.
This green, correct?
I would do it here just so that you're extra hot coming over. It's going to be the stem, and we'll pull it out long, and then we'll do 2 more of them for the arms. So again, this is going to look green. Look how green it looks. But that's that vibrant blue. And now we're going to go for the arms of this margarita glass. Definitely bigger. Wait till you see it opened up. So this is my opportunity while Mom, that's perfect size, gets this going. I can sit down and take a look at the chat, folks. Oh, a lot of blood types.
I know. I think this is really cool. You're going to find out why I'm asking.
British Isles.
Okay, pay attention.
All right, I'm paying attention.
What am I doing? I'm going in the mold and then flashing it, or bringing it right from the mold?
You could probably, yeah, take a light flash after, a real quick light flash. And a little bit extra heat. We're doing it over the top. Okay. Thank you, perfect. Oh, baby.
How many people have been to a cactus garden? We went to Arizona, and cactus gardens when you're from Michigan are crazy cool. Like, it doesn't even seem like a plant.
Man, that went on nice. So now I've got to have a platform on the bottom here that's going to allow me to put a beautiful foot on. So I pull it out, put that kind of nub on the bottom there. And then I was just making sure you weren't going for another one yet. Because we're going to flatten this bottom up.
I'm flattening on the bottom?
Yeah, I'll take a paddle in a sec. I'm going to take a heat first.
Someone was just commenting, and their family is all different blood types. So just because I have A positive doesn't mean you are.
Exactly. I remember Grandma Nordine sent out a real long list of all the family's blood types.
And they were all different.
Some secondary family too, and they were all different. And I wasn't on the list. She was like, "Let me get your blood type," and then it just got lost in my emails. So.
Yeah, like when you donate blood, I mean, you forget. It gets categorized.
Yeah. All right, I'll take a squish. Beautiful.
Do you cut, for the arms, do you cut them off the same bit, or I'm bringing 2 bits?
2 separate ones. And the way we're going to do it is I'll stick it on like this, then I'm going to bend the pipe and turn yours up a little bit and come down here and cut
So
it
I
like
follow
that.
you along.
Yeah.
So smaller than the one I just brought?
Yeah, here smaller is perfect. This is definitely the right size for a margarita glass, folks. You can see how deep I'm flashing. I'm getting heat all the way up on the neck because right now we're spending so much time on this bottom section. It's a beautiful color to work with because you can tell the temperature of the glass. When I'm looking at this, if I start to see it actually become the blue that it's at, then that means it's immediate get in the heat time and I can't be messing around. As soon as I see any tint of blue, you go right to the hole.
And it's what?
Nothing, I'm talking to myself. I guess I'm talking to a couple hundred people that are watching, but you know.
So we have noticed that the numbers have dropped slightly during the shows. And that's only because life has opened up again. The interesting thing is, a week later, the numbers are higher than normal because everyone's watching it on their own time now. Look at, I love how it sticks. Come on, little fella.
Come hang out and have a margarita. That's a hot one. My hand was sizzling on that thing.
Oh, we could talk about the contest we're going to be having too. When we do the beverages, we'll talk about that.
That sounds perfect. Look at that.
It's like he's a muscle man.
Yeah. One of these.
Yeah.
All right, one more?
Yep, you ready now?
I'm ready. The trick with it now is letting it stiffen up like I just did before I go in because look, it wants to move. So if I get lost or I start thinking a little bit too much and stay in there for 1 second too long and have it lean in the wrong way, it'll tag right back on the glass. And that happened for the first two actually that I tried to make of these styles. They fell right back on themselves. Jim, this is looking ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
I'm ready for you.
Okay.
As soon as you're ready. I got a little bit of lean because I was working on one side, which is perfect. Now I'm going to the opposite side, and by the time I'm done with this one, the lean will be opposite.
Oh, Jim, too bad you're not here. You could be jumping in with your camera. Jake's hand was getting nice and toasty warm there. How many people out there have taken a glass blowing class, whether it's with us or with someone else? We call our classes experiences because you're getting an experience of working with the glass. But give a shout out, a thumbs up, a heart, something like that if you've tried a class with glass blowing. You'll understand some of the heat, what's happening, why we move certain ways when we add items to the glass.
I will say we're pretty darn happy with the new style of percola reed. It took a couple weeks for us to get that thing dialed in.
Oh my gosh, and so much pain and struggle.
It was tough. But we did get it figured out, and those are live on the website. I think if you all watch our experimental shows on Sunday, we went into pretty darn good detail about the process of designing those and what it looks like to be a part of a class here at the Glass Academy. So if you haven't seen that, take a look.
Are you doing the footing tool or what are you doing for the foot?
I'm thinking because we've got this larger shape to it,
Yes.
I think we should drop it on the Marver.
And you want to squash it with a thing?
Yeah, so it's going to be probably a little bit bigger than it would for the footing tool, a little extra girth to hold this guy. I'm going to use, I'll maybe use that, that front one that's about to fall off the table there. Yes, please. And we're thinking like,
Ready now?
yeah, one good coat of the copper blue.
You want it blue.
Yes. This is the perks of a custom order. He saw this guy, and he loved it, but wanted to add a little color to it. So this is another style. We don't do this often on the show. Maybe because, I'm not really sure why. Honestly, I just hadn't thought of it in quite a while. But when you get into a bigger piece like this, I don't want it to have it to be a super delicate, light foot, kind of like a goblet foot when we've got a larger style margarita glass here. So we're just gonna cut it off onto the table. Was that one coat?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you cutting it, am I?
If I could take one flash, I'll cut it afterwards. I'm gonna use most of that.
Yeah, do you want me to cut it or no?
I'll snip it. Lift up. Perfect stick, come on. Woo! That was perfect, Mom.
Thank you, thank you.
It's so hard. You see how hard I push down on it? That glass is cold because of the mold. So the trick with it, and the reason maybe that we don't do it often, is it's so easy to stick that off center and have it be wonking around and turning really oval. But I just went for it, and I think we nailed it. It's actually on there so good.
And the other
Real
thing
light now.
is, like, it's handmade, so even if it's slightly off center, it's not
Right.
like you sit at the table and spin it and go, oh my God, it's off center, I can't handle it. Looks great.
Wow.
So he's gonna stabilize the heat. I'm gonna get started on that punny.
This is for a special margarita occasion. That's all I'm saying.
When we went to get the supplies for the margarita class, we can't supply alcohol, but we got like the fixings. It's amazing how many like crazy mixes there are and
Oh yeah.
types of stuff for the beverages.
Well, it's nice too because I love margaritas, but I don't love the super sugary,
Oh, yes,
like
you do.
plastic bottle margarita mixes. So there's definitely been some more options as of late. I'm right behind you. To get some cane sugar,
Do you want it now?
fresh squeeze. Yeah, I'll take it. All kinds of fancy, cool things. All right, here we go.
Ooh, that hand-eye coordination.
That one went on there just like the foot. I just like threw it at it and closed my eyes. And it went on perfect.
Usually when I do that, it sticks on the side of the piece, and then I'm fighting it the whole way.
All right, light push. Got it. Woo-hoo-hoo. Thank you.
As far as I got.
Hey, I just realized that pipe didn't crack on the first snail. So that's cool. So we got it flipped around, folks. If you're brand new to the show, that is a pretty important... Your mic's off? Yeah, your mic's off? Cool. Pretty important. What was I talking about? Punty. Who knows, folks?
What are you saying?
I don't know. I lost my train of thought.
Pay attention. That's why I kind of like talk about blood types, or if you're new to the show, to get you to like focus on what you're doing.
We're gonna go for a little trimmage here.
All right, so it's nice and hot at the top. He's got a little bit of the tweezer.
Thank you.
Jeez.
Cutting it close. I found though, and with those tag backs, that the slower I actually cut, right at that moment it's about to tag back, it gives it more time to drop down.
Right, like the weight pulls it down.
Exactly. If I'm trying to cut too fast because I think it's cold, it sticks.
Kelly Purdy asked, is the punty same as a puntal? Yes, pretty much. Pretty much. Just a different way of spelling.
So
Oh,
now-
there are some really cool, tell us what you like your margaritas. I know there's like mango margarita. There's all these kind of different flavors.
Strawberry.
Yeah. And then we've got a cocktail contest that's coming up we're going to tell you about. It's a
Or do
summer
you mean
fun.
a mocktail?
Yes, it is a
What?
mocktail cocktail. So there is another tool, I'm drawing a blank on them, the wooden parchofis.
Parchofs.
They're wooden tools like the jacks that are very soft on the glass that help you open up this style shape.
We like to keep it challenging.
Yeah. Right now, the way he turns the pipe, the angle he holds the pipe at, there's all these different factors
Super
of how
important.
that bowl is opening up. Like the top bowl.
One sec.
Woohoo, this is gonna be fun, Jim. When you have this margarita, you do not leave the house.
Oh, I love the texture on the inside of the bubbles. There's no texture on the outside, but because the bubbles are closer to the inside, there was less glass. When I'm riding the jacks in there, you hear a little bit of...
Do you stamp it upside down, the GA on the
We're
bottom?
gonna stamp it on the bottom, yeah.
Slow.
Would you toss the forks
Slow.
up? Thank you. Forks
Yes.
are on the right of the garage. Thinking this is about our guy right here. Spinning it really fast to spin it outward so it gets wider, but also catching it with the tool at the same time. That's our shape. Jim, that's one of the tightest margarita glasses.
Super
we've done in a
lovely.
while.
Okay, he will use the torch on the bottom of this and stamp it.
We're gonna equalize the temperature a little bit. Honey's on there perfect. It's a beautiful connection. You see how it's still a little greener on the top and the foot's a little bit blue, so I'm going to be giving it like 1 or 2 more heats to equalize all that. And then we are going to stamp the very bottom of it. I think that's going to do it right there. A little bit of agua, probably don't need it.
Watch yourself.
Here we go.
Oh, I could have scooted.
It's all right. Holy.
Back to the furnace.
I thought it was really delicate, so I didn't really put much water in there, but
When you put your water in, tilt your pipe up so it doesn't go into the foot.
yeah. I can't really get up in there good enough.
No, you tip your back end down.
I know what you're saying. Dad tells me that all the time, but I just don't like doing it.
One too many times you will learn.
Yeah,
There you go.
baby.
Here, I got it.
Perfectly smooth. That could be one of the nose scratches right there. It's so smooth. That was a beautiful punny. It was delicate, but it was on there super strong at the same time.
Are you guys catching this? Jake feeds his apprentice or his assistant lots of compliments so they do well.
That's right.
That's the way you do it.
She preheated the fork. She's got it.
The worst is when you work for someone and all they do is nag. Voila!
Man,
Nice
that was
job.
sweet.
Woohoo! Jim, you're gonna love it.
Yeah, that's a really cool one. That was a nice one, Jim. That's Mom and I don't work together that often, especially not making margarita glasses, but that went real smooth. Real nice.
Real nice, real nice. So we time the show out and we try to make 2 hours worth of content, right? So we still have a good hour to
That's
go.
good. That's good.
So we've got some new snails.
New snails, we want to take it to Command Central. I know you had some really cool answers that,
Yeah.
I don't know if you want to read or if I want to read.
Yeah, I know Sam just turned the camera off, but we're heading back that way. Can we do Command Central? Oh, she turned it on. Okay. Tell me when I'm on. Okay. So one of the things that I wanted to ask about blood types was we have a super good patron of the arts, like an amazing person. And this person has always supported us. Him and his wife come here all the time. They're super cool. And then
Hold
do you
on
ever
one
open
sec.
up?
Breaking news.
What?
Matt, our new assistant's watching on YouTube right now. He just said what up, so I had to say hi before he took off. And if anyone's out here, sees Matt Hanna up there, send him some love because he's doing a great job assisting. He's learning the ropes right now.
One day he'll be doing that margarita glass with you.
One day.
One day. All right, so
Anyway.
Sam put a link in there, and I want you to take a minute to think about this. So we were talking earlier today, you know how like you could get hit by a bus or a train gets you and you're like gone in a second? What if you had a disease that you knew was gonna take your life out? It's not, I have to say this with, anyways, I wanna make sure I get through this. A good friend of ours has a disease that's been degenerative, and he's at a place right now he needs a kidney. And so that's why I was asking about blood types. It was really crazy because the first thing you do is like, I'd give you my kidney. And then you're like, wait, I don't have the right blood type. And then it's like such a thing. Like, how many of you are organ donors? Like when I'm dead and gone, really, like take my body, like learn from it, chop me up, use me for science. I don't really care. These guys might not, maybe they want me cremated and their ashes in a piece of glass or something like that. But personally, if I can give of myself that someone gets eyeballs or a liver or anything, I am totally about it. So we are, we are kind of putting a little plea out there. We put a good friend of ours needs a kidney transplant with O-type blood. So if you see this and you know of someone who do it, I have no idea how this goes about. I'm sure there's tons of testing and to figure it all out. But he is on the organ donor list, and it's pretty important. So there's that. Okay.
I think that's super cool because that's what having an audience is all about, is using your audience to send out some sort of good information like that, spreading good news. Not good news, but trying to get some good news going and have using our audience in a good manner for humanity, and I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Tech
And these
support.
Oh, yeah. Positive and negative. That's why we started this question when we were eating dinner. Is it O positive or O negative? And it doesn't matter. At this point, the transplant can happen with O-type blood. So.
There you go, folks. Appreciate
Yeah.
you all.
Okay.
Shall we? Did you read any of those?
I did. So I've got two. We're going to hit up the drink ones later because we have glasses. We're going to go measure some ounces in our glass. But these are the plant questions, and they're like a huge amount. So this is how you enter to win our contest. enews@glassacademy.com, and I totally forgot. The question tonight is, do you have snails in your region? Like sometimes we went to Seattle and they were giant size. Michigan, they're super tiny with a striped shell. So if you have snails, if you had one, like what were a hermit crab I'm thinking of? Like if you had one as a pet when you were a kid, maybe you couldn't have furry animals and your parents were like, you can have fish or you can have a snail. So that's the question. Enter to win, and we're gonna make something tonight. Not sure what it is, but my guess it will be a snail. Okay, so these were questions about plants, and people had some amazing answers. The last time we asked what's your favorite house plant, we have someone here that had a jade plant from 1990. She got it when she was in junior high. No, she moved to Michigan in 1990. Got it in junior high, and she's the grandmother. Think about that jade plant. It must be like ginormous. Lots of you had attachments to plants. Some of you said, I definitely do not have a green thumb. I have nothing. I like this one. We have a lime tree in a south window. Now, I don't know if this person's in Michigan or not. It's about 1.5 feet tall. Every year for 3 years, we've had the best lime for drinks. Bourbon and water with a wedge lime, only in a Glass Academy mug.
Hey.
There's no bribing here. You don't have to say things like that. But
Well, you don't even have the names attached to these.
we're
but
appreciative of that.
that's a lot of answers right there. And I saw that, I was like, holy moly. And they're not all short. You know, you
No.
can just send us to enter. You can just be like, blue, you know, that's
Yeah,
fine.
but that's the conversation we're just talking about. That's what's
Yeah,
fun.
this is cool. It's fun
And then,
to read.
like, I keep all these contests, so next year, like, this is how we develop our products. We read all of these. We don't just go, cool, they entered a contest, let's just cut and paste their name.
Yeah.
And the winner tonight, I will tell you, the winner tonight has been asking to win for a long time.
Glass Academy Addict is
Yeah.
winning tonight, folks.
We'll do
Tell
that
you when
later.
we spin the wheel of names.
Oh, I have to go get the item. Okay, so do you want to show the next group of snails?
Let's check them out. Switch it over to the
yeah.
robotic arm camera manned by Uncle Dennis.
Boing, 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 boing,
When we
boing,
get the thumbs
boing.
up, we will go for it. Oh. check it out, folks. This is one of my favorites. I think this is a very unique and super cool grouping here. These are the herbivores, folks. You gotta say it like that, the herbivores. Look at just the way that their eyes are all different. Look at this guy's eyes, wide eye special. So cool. He's got some really cool color texture on here, the swirl, two-tone swirl. But the idea with the herbivores is they're all green. They're all gonna have different styles of texture. Look at this one. We laid some powder on this one. There's powder in the crevice. He's like, what? What'd you say about my crevice? Really cool though. And look at that that bulge right there, that slime bulge. Super cool. So they're all different. This one, I'm actually gonna do this particular style. Let's show off maybe this guy on the show here, where I'm gonna leave this texture. I'm gonna add frit onto the top of it once we've already swirled it up. And he's got a beautiful herbivorean texture where he's been really gnawing on mulch and green leaves and all kinds of berries and whatnot out in the forest. And he's just turned green and has sprouted some green foliage on his backside. Green color patterns, folks. I got something sweet lined up over here. Thought about it beforehand.
So these are a little tough to see on the green.
A little tough to see on the green, green on green.
Yeah, so look at, let's see if I move some here.
Yeah.
Like, it really pops. The color in here makes me feel like he's been going in the forest and, you know, got some stuff.
Some like mushroom,
stuck on him.
what are they called? Spores?
Yeah, and this one with the, like, kind of the stripes on it. So very cool, very cool. I'll leave those guys there. There's something so fun about the character of them, that they don't have eyes, but they have these things. They just feel so lifelike and fun to move around. It's got our signature on the back, very important. If you're watching the show for the first time, share with your friends and family. We do some great stuff. Sam's gonna do an Instagram when she gets back.
And I'm gonna make a snail right now because Cheryl, I think it was Cheryl, I just saw in there, said, those are so beautiful. Are you gonna make one?
Why, yes, we are.
Yes, we are. It's go time. And we're gonna do a texturous one. I really love that shroom spore special and the twist, but we're gonna go with the texture because that's completely different from the other 4 categories, to have texture on the shell. We're gonna go for a pipe that we don't have to worry about it breaking in the middle of making the piece.
Instagram.
Some of you may ask, why do you use that pipe if it's gonna break? Because we're gonna use it to the end, you know? We're not gonna just let that thing sit off in the shelf. We're gonna use it till it goes, and hopefully it goes on the show, and we all have a little surprise.
So dipping into the clear furnace. Okay, I didn't see the answers to the questions. How many people have taken a class here? We also have another surprise that's gonna be coming up this summer. This is like a huge community event. We're thinking,
we do have a pretty big event that we're going to be doing this summer. It's going to be really cool.
You could be part of history.
Going to be a part of history. It's going to be sweet.
Yep.
So come on down. And here we go. So this is going to be a brilliant, bright, poppin', opaque green body. And I'm going to give it a deep emerald green spotted texture on top of it. We got to make sure we go for at least a couple coats of this, and I think if we're going live on Instagram, and what's up Instagram, it's snail time.
Okay, someone asked if they were live. Yes, they are live on the website, but it's pre-orders.
Pre-orders.
We want pre-orders so we know exactly what to make, what colors are people's favorites. There will always be extras, more than needed. If you do not see your perfect one, we will make more, but...
So to recap on a pre-order, if you're local, you pre-order, and then our release date, which, Michelle, what was the release date?
April 19th.
April 19th is when we're going to release the snails for pickup. If you're local, you come to the studio. If you're not local, we make them available online. You'll be able to pick and choose your, however many you pre-order, and you put in your discount code, which will reduce the price to 0 because you've already purchased it, and you will pick your individual specific snail.
And this is really cool for us as a small business because we don't know. We think, you know, hey, everyone's going to like the green, and then they pick the brown. So this is how we know which ones to make. Very specific to you guys.
Little slug slime just fell on the floor if you saw it. Snail slime. And here we're going for it, Mom.
I'm ready.
So let it fall and then just give it one flip for me. Flip. Oh, it's a hand sizzler. Thank you.
It is a hand sizzler.
That's what I'm talking about. They did not happen like that the first 25 we did, you guys. I promise you that. Oof. So now the trick is
how do you get that color?
Getting that color on the outside. So I've got everything lined up. I'm gonna go for a nice flash. The beauty of these greens is that they're all super soft. They melt in quick and they pick up other color quick. So I'm gonna give it a little color like this or a little heat. I'm actually gonna prep my color over here a little bit so it's frontward facing in the dish.
Can he do it, ladies and gentlemen?
Herbivorian texture, folks. Here we go.
So I think these could be as big as the pumpkins.
They could be huge.
I just think these are so fun, so unique. Everyone is so
cool.
different.
The shells all come out different.
Yeah, I see people having 2 or 3 of these. I mean, when you go to the beach, what do? You collect shells.
Yeah. That went on good. And the greens too, once they're on there, I don't want to heat it up too long. I want to leave it texturous. So I give it a light heat, leave it texturous. There's a fine line, a 2-second line, I would say, in between it being sharp for your hands and having that beautiful texture. But that went on really good.
Ritz?
Let's go for it, yeah. Still got a lot of heat. You see it moving. You see that fall, that flip. And if I want to go and squish on that Maurice, it really needs to be a little more stable. When we knock this off, I'm going to dunk that moil in the water right here, and you guys will see the colors pop out.
We are going to have to look into some of that licensing music. It'd be nice to have music while we're working.
Yeah, agreed. So there's our clear patty on the backside. Can you hear that texture of my mic?
It also lets you know how fast the glass is cooling off.
Very fast.
So if you are local, we are going to be doing something special this summer.
So here comes the punty, or as we say in the glass shop from time to time, the putty.
Are you flashing
I'm ready.
or no?
Right now.
I was taking my time because I thought you were flashing.
Stick it on there, nice strong connection, light tap. So she's got it. Take a look over here, Uncle Dennis. Check that color out. Doesn't look bright green in any regard. I'm going to take it over to the bucket here and I'm going to give it the old dunk, the old douse. It's going to change again now as it's heating back up, but I'll dunk it again and it's still going to get even brighter. It's like a lime green. Thanks, Mom. Love here to fix up that connection mark. Let's go emerald green.
Emerald green, the middle one?
The darker one, yep.
All right, you ready?
I'm ready. So I flatten that out. I used a torch instead of heating it up in there because I don't want to melt away this texture. And I don't want to change the shape of any of this when I squish down on it. So it's very important that only that specific area is really hot. And I'm on the babysitting mode while Michelle puts together the slime.
Slime is important for them.
Tiffany had a great idea to find local bands who might let you listen for exposure. To have local bands
Oh,
playing
right.
their
Well,
music,
we had Joe Smith.
streaming their music. That's a really great idea.
Are you ready? Or are you watching your
let
phone?
me take one more flash.
Come on now.
Well, I was thinking about, Dawn was talking about bunnies, and bunnies are actually coming up real soon, folks. I'm ready now. Sorry.
That's all right. You're getting that core heat. You got to pay attention.
That's slimy. So slimy. That's so nice. You can't really do these. It took me a long time. Matt and I probably made like 6 of these before he was even able to like understand what we needed for the bit. And remind me to talk about, I didn't talk about it when we showed off the herbivores, but I want to show off the importance of putting on that and what it means to the, what was the word I was using for it?
I don't know.
Can't remember the word. In other news, I had 2 ducks. I live in Dearborn. It's a city. There's not really any water nearby me. The other day, I left to go to work at 8 a.m. and I had 2 ducks walk across the street right up onto my lawn. It was a guy and a girl. And then I was like, holy crap, I took a picture of it, sent it to the family. It was like, look, there's ducks on my lawn. And then,
Oh, no!
Can you help?
What do we do? What do we do?
Just grab him with the tweezers right by the hot stuff, thick stuff.
Is he
His
done?
eye's still intact.
You want to just
Yep,
do the punny?
I do.
Suddenly there was silence. Silence!
Those
Never
ducks.
say die.
Never say duck in the middle of a piece.
Duck, duck, goose.
I can't believe his eyes survived. He just took a long tumble.
Well, it's solid glass. You know what I was typing? Someone was asking. I was like, it's totally solid
The
glass.
eyes aren't solid,
No, they're not, but
but he survived. He is a strong son of a gun. My goodness, he's completely scathe-free. I'll continue that duck conversation in a second. That was a little chip that came off of the pipe earlier. He's got a little mole on the front of his face.
snail down.
Thanks for grabbing him.
Oh no, snail down.
He's alive. He's a
It's
strong
true.
herbivore right there. He's eating his greens. Let me get him from the good side, his spiral side.
Both sides are nice.
Yeah.
The timing is so fun because
So
solid
cool.
glass is different.
I'm gonna slide this back a hair. So, well, we re-put that bunny on, so it's probably a stronger connection than it was in the first place. So let's see how she pops off. Pretty darn nice. And we go right for that, it's kind of like a scar. It's like your belly button is what this guy's got here. And we're gonna kind of brand his belly button as kind of weird as that sounds.
All right. These guys are on the website, Gathering Point page, homepage. April 19th is their release. They could chill out in the space until then.
And he sits just right.
He was cool.
All right.
Yeah.
Nice one. Another beautiful
All right.
one. Bowser. That was fastest trip a snail has ever made. That's right, Dave.
Did you ever look up the symbolism of a duck?
I did, and I was kind of in the car as I was doing it, but it listed off like 25 different things that the duck symbolism means. But all I know is what I was trying to say is that these ducks came back this morning. My girlfriend left the house about the same time, and it was super foggy out. Really foggy. She was like, the ducks are coming back. She called me and said,
Just at your house.
Yeah, and I opened up the door, and through the fog, they were waddling through the fog through the street, and they like popped up onto the curb and then started coming towards my backyard.
What if you, because you're the oldest house in the neighborhood, what if you had a lake on your house before, or a little pond?
I did. That's what I heard. My neighbor told me that there was a pond back there, and it is really swampy in the winter.
So like, what if their genetics are just like, home, I'm going home?
It could be. They did a whole thing of the perimeter of the house, and then I lost them. I fed them a couple crackers, and it was pretty cute. They were just as close as Uncle Dennis is to me right now. Ducks are cool. We raised ducks back in the day.
Yeah. How many people have done that? Raised birds from eggs? Do you know when they opened? Do you remember the one guy? He like cracked the egg all around, and then when he was ready to come out, it was like, poof, he like trap door the back end. It was really funny, and like went out. And then one of the eggs couldn't open all the way. He needed help, and so his buddies went and helped him open his egg and get him out. Do you remember that?
I kind of do. I vaguely remember being excited about that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Frado, Francis and Otto.
Frado. The grandparents' name, Francis and Otto. We named the duck Frado. That's awesome.
This is how you do it. Okay.
Do we have anything for Command Central, or should we move on to the blossoms?
We could.
Oh, yeah.
Let's
over
do
here.
this.
This is going to be really cool. Michelle's going to take it away on cup design here.
Okay. So we do, this is like ounces here. How many ounces? And I had a customer ask, I like that wine glass, but how many ounces is it? Who wants to guess? 6.5. All right, this is like if you did a full pour. And the answer is, it's looking like 10 from where I'm at.
10 ounces? It's good to know for a waffle glass, because we got those down to a pretty good science.
This one is bigger. So this is the Galaxy glass.
Oh, yeah.
So we could do...
What's a traditional wine pour?
I don't know. We'd have
like
to...
a 6 ounce or an 8
well,
ounce pour?
so, okay, next week we're doing the wine event. We're doing a live glass blowing demo for a wine group. So this one's 14.
Holy moly.
So that's interesting. We should probably do this for that group. And we can ask what a wine pour is. Okay,
yeah,
so... Remember, you are here at the Glass Academy.
So that was 16 ounces, or that was 14? Yep, 14 ounces.
Okay, what do we think this one is?
I'd say that's about the same.
What's a can of pop, 12?
Can of pop's 12.
So I think a can of pop plus ice. Wow.
About the same.
Yeah.
14.
So these two are the same.
Doesn't quite look like it, does it?
Okay, so mocktails, does everyone know what a mocktail is? You're mocking alcohol. Sure, you can put alcohol in, but some people, just like me, do not like to drink a lot of alcohol. And I want a cocktail. I want to feel like an umbrella in my drink and something swanky. So this summer we're going to have a contest. What did we say this was? 16, 14?
14 ounce.
14 ounce cocktail. And we're going to have a contest. You can submit your recipe. We're going to have a series of judges. Some of them are in the alcohol space, so they're used to cocktails, but this is going to be one without alcohol. Alcohol will be an option you can always add in later, but a mocktail with like rosemary or thyme or something sweet.
The idea is to use cool ingredients you never used before, and the fact that it's a mocktail means you could have a daughter or a son that wants to make one, or someone who doesn't like drinking alcohol, but for the majority of the time when you drink a cocktail, it's kind of the idea of feeling like you're doing something fancy, you got something cool going on. The alcohol is a bonus, but a mocktail is pretty cool, and everyone can do it, and we got a cool glass.
Yeah, because we want to see what we're looking for is color. We're going to have requirements. We want some cool colored drink, like a raspberry lemonade in this cup would be super cool.
Yeah.
Or grape, something that's purple,
Color,
I think.
taste, and then probably
Texture,
some other third
like
category.
taste.
But we will have judges, and you will, the people, maybe we'll have the final 3 finalists. We had some ideas bouncing around. It's not 100% certain, but we will probably get you on the show, have you make the cocktail, really talk
Your name
about
and
it,
lights.
have a good time.
Yeah, we're gonna print it up, doing a photo shoot with the pieces, the
Maybe
recipe.
a little gift card, win something type deal. We'll see.
Yeah. So that's coming down the pipeline.
But it's going to be really cool, folks.
Okay, you want to go over the blossom section?
Yes, let's go over the blossoms. We've got 2 more really cool categories to go through here. And one of them we're gonna make, the next one's gonna be the giveaway, folks, so stay tuned. This one is one of my favorites. These transparents with texture like this are ridiculous, and they're super, in my mind, blossom-like, you know? Orange, yellow, look at this next one, the red and orange one. Two-tone red with an orange body, transparent orange body. The idea behind the blossom is bright colors, bright, vibrant, multicolored beauties. That's a pink guy. Let's get him facing this way so you see his full spiral there.
Okay, a traditional wine pours 6, 4, and 6 ounces.
4 and 6 ounces.
So the smaller.
That was Sam's favorite. Tech support Sam. She pointed this one out right in the beginning and said, oh my God. Pink transparent with a red body. I think these might be my favorites, the blossoms, because it's really fun to experiment with the different colors. And I'm getting to learn what colors go great together, what colors don't look so well together. And it's a trial and error process. And that's just my opinion. Everyone has a different opinion. And everyone's going to love each one a little bit different.
Oh, wait, what?
All right. That's a great idea. Or should we do it? Should we do it? Are we doing it right now? I think we should do it before we give away and the next one, in between the next one, before we do the actual giveaway snail. Is that cool? So I'll make one more now, and then we'll go for the giveaway one. Do you have any interest in trying to make one?
Not on TV. Sorry.
All right, I thought I'd ask.
And yeah, no, they're really cool. There isn't anything I'd want to adapt or try different. So, I mean, it would only be the color pattern.
Well, do you want to pick out the blossom color pattern in this one?
Sure.
Michelle's choice.
Blossom is actually my least favorite, so you do it.
Your least favorite?
Yeah.
All right, I'll do it then. No problem. We're back onto the broken pipe, folks, so if we lose this blossom cutie, who knows? I didn't see if there are any comments, but normally we make the pieces we make on the show available on the live feed page during the show. These ones are all getting put into the pile of pre-orders that we're slaving away. Not slaving away, we have a good time with it. But we're grinding, making a bunch of these for your pre-order pickup. So these are going to be added into the pile. Perhaps, depending on the timing and depending on what you choose, you may see these ones that are made in the live show. And I'll still sign them on the bottom so you know that they actually were legitimately made on the show, and you'll have a video of seeing them being made. This is what I'm going to go for here. We're going to do a bright pink snail body, made shell. And we're going to go into the optic mold, a little different than the last one.
You know, someone just commented on YouTube, the colors are really bright. I bet, like, depending your TV, the colors can be very different.
I did see Uncle Dennis get a really nice zoom or two on a couple of those guys that were really popping in the screen. And I also noticed we got a TV now in here for all the students that will play the live feed as students come in and cycle through the shop throughout our weekends. And it's crystal clear. From tech support to Uncle Dennis to the tech that's available today, I'm pretty blown away by what we can manage here in a hot shop, making glass and talking to you all from around the world. It looks really incredible.
Yeah, so we had some people in. How about this? So this weekend, one of our staff was called off. He wasn't feeling well. And so I ran the tours and the classes. And that was pretty fun. I met father and son. The son was in Missouri. I forget the name of the school right now. He actually has glass blowing in his school. His teacher watches The Gathering Point.
Yeah,
she has stickers all around the classroom. Woo. And he came here and did a class. So he's coming back for the summer.
Very cool.
Jake's possibly going to hire him to do some production when we
sent him an email.
Yeah.
Sent him an email.
So the world shrinks. We invite each and every one of you to come by. Again, we have a special thing going on this summer. If you're traveling through Metro Detroit, we'll have more details as we work them out.
I got some nice texture on there. I'm giving it the twist right now. Super twist.
You know what? That was good because we didn't do that on any of the others.
Trying to make them a little different. we got a bright pink body. While we got a second here, I'll list off a couple and you guys can vote on it. For the body or for the shell, what do you want for the body? A bright yellow, that transparent blue we used, or the electric green? Cast your votes, folks. Blue, yellow, or green? I'm ready for you.
Flip.
Yep. Thank you. It was perfect timing.
All right, so here's what else happens when we come up with a new product. Everyone's like, I want to take a class and make that.
Right.
So, number one, what Jake just did, your hand, you'd be screaming in pain because it would be so hot. You'd be like, ow. When we do our items, we make them look really easy because there's a lot of practice and a lot of behind the scenes that you haven't seen. So Jake makes it look, oh, this is simple, I could do that. But no, you probably couldn't.
So let's go for the Maurice. What I really like about these is as you pull it out and I heat up the tip a little bit extra, into the coil, the texture almost leaves and it becomes just a color pattern. And then on the outside, the thicker part, it's still really texturous and has those ribs. And each one's totally different. So I'm gonna really make sure I get this punny on there good this time. We're not gonna be sending another one down into the cullet barrel where the cullet monsters live.
Are you flashing or no?
It's so thick, I got enough time to do it all. It's on there.
Opa.
Thank you kindly. I'm gonna take a seat, take a look here real quick at the comments.
What? You're blowing a piece of glass.
No, I asked everybody what the three should be.
I could get an answer for you.
Blue. Green, blue, yellow, blue, blue, blue. Green, blue, blue, green. It's looking pretty close between blue and green, but I think it's gonna have to be blue.
Wait a second, is it me? Can I do half green, half blue?
You could do half and half. I'll take it.
I don't think it's ready, but.
Oh, I torch it.
Oh, then that's why it's not ready.
I think blue won it, and I like blue better because this is an opaque, and the blues are transparent. And I've really liked having one be opaque, one be transparent like that.
So what am I doing?
That electric copper blue.
You guys are talking about the pit stop. Yeah, well, you guys think it's gone, but it's not. We're gonna have to figure this out. Sam's been researching cameras. She's, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm ready.
She's found a fan that can go on the camera, so we're looking at that. She found these strips that can go on the camera.
We're thinking the strips are gonna be really cool.
Yeah, and then we have Command Central, and then
Command
also
Central.
the other camera at the bench.
Yeah, we're gonna be really putting some work in because if any of you are new and have joined in the past few months, maybe the last 20 shows, it's coming up on passed into our second year now doing these shows. This is show number 157. And when it gets to be summertime and we got 2,500 degrees right there, heating up the shop on a summer day, the camera overheats. So they're talking about pit stop, and that's when we're gonna have to add ice packs to the gimbal arm to cool down our
which the gimbal doesn't like, because when you add that weight on, it has to recalibrate.
Right.
You ready?
Two schmacks, please. So that's why we're talking about strips.
We're planning ahead. And I like the stationary camera at the bench. That's how I learned, was really watching from that angle. We are the Glass Academy.
The Academy of Glass. Oh, the show in West Bloomfield went really great, folks. I was a little bit late. I'm not 100% sure if I missed some folks that went out to show some support, but I did have a couple squid of mine. I showed you on the annealer reveal on Thursday last week. The squid that I was entering or had entered into this show, and it was beautiful. It was an all glass artist show. There were probably 20 different glass artists, beautifully curated, and we had a really great time at the JCC over there. Really, really well done, and just very professional. So if anybody did show some support, even if it was just sharing that on your feed, I really appreciate that. I love the tall ones like that. Their gullet, that's what it is, I think. I'll show you up close here. I'm gonna point at this spot. This is what that fold over does. Look at that crease right in there. Makes them almost have some extra girth up front and totally has some personality to what's going on with the snail. I love that move, and that took many a snail to figure out. So that's a bright blue. This pink actually gets a lot brighter when it cools down. We'll see that on the annealer reveal. I'm gonna touch up the eyes, but this guy's ready to go. You never want to put it away after touching the eyes with metal like that. The coldest part, then touching it with metal. I gotta take one more heat before we knock it off.
So you know how when we started doing the gnomes, they became super popular, and the ship in China couldn't get gnomes and all of that? Let's pay attention to snails, everybody. Let's see what happens with the snails.
Yeah, let's make snails a total
the next hip thing.
Hip thing. Hey, get back here. Come here, little buddy. Can I use those? Or can you set them back up for me? Thanks. He's cool. Simple one. I like him simple too.
You're calling him a simpleton? What?
Not simpleton. Simpleton.
And
nice.
away he goes.
Grabbing him by the very tips there.
Well,
Nice.
that's what it is.
Yeah. They were both leaning the same way. It looked like they were dancing in there. That's awesome.
Very cool.
Sweet.
All right.
Wheel of names.
Wheel of names.
I will say, folks, that I was thinking about tomorrow morning. We got 2 assistants coming in. We're going to be 3-teaming a new style of gnome. We're going to get 3 gnomes on the website, and we're going to reel them on our Mother's Day weekend sweet live product extravaganza.
Okay,
show.
so today, one more time, are we on camera? All right.
We're going to be on the stationery in 1 second, but what's this now? The giveaway question?
Giveaway
folks.
question.
Enter to win the next snail we're going to be making. I think she's going to put the e-news on the screen here. But you know where to send it. enews@glassacademy.com.
And we want to know if you've ever had a snail as a pet, if you've ever been around a snail, etc. Let's see. Okay, lots of hand claps on that one. No marini eyes on the snail. They're too big. They don't look right.
Yeah.
And this looks super natural when you pull them out and then it rounds out. It looks really good. All right. Oops.
That's right, Mary. Mary Lou. Holy.
I apparently rubbed the paddle on my leg. Okay, so this person, the reason we started doing Wheel of Names, go for it. Yeah, you have to spin.
Yeah, let's talk about it.
We do it ahead of time so that we can check the contest list. You have to have not one in 6 months. So that's going to give everyone a chance. We had 145 people this week, so your chances are 1 out of 145. Pretty darn good, I think. Good. And we do ask that you share the feed, tell people about us. The greatest way we can grow our business is by your word of mouth. Your testimonials. As a small business, we don't have, we're not going to do billboards on the side of the freeway or anything. So
I did bring that up last week. I thought it was a good idea. She said no.
No. No. But we have our winner here, and we can hit it.
It's Wheel of Names, baby.
All right, coming back, and we have the winner.
We got the winner. Congratulations, an amazing Glass Academy addict. Boom. She's been watching the shows for a long time. Long time. And it's super cool to see these names come up. There are a couple other addicts that have never won before, and I know I saw one of you, Sharon, commenting earlier.
Is it going to be me?
Is it going to be me? And I knew you'd think that when I said it, so I'm sorry to put you on the reel like that. But you do have a sweet margarita glass waiting here at the shop, too, as well, for margarita night.
And the cool thing about this is, I think this is perfect, because Riker, this is a magnet. And it sticks, if you want to show it on the side of the desk. Well, I mean, I guess you can.
Yeah, I'll show you another time. But we do have a magnet on the back of it, and I showed it off really well in the annealer reveal. It's hard to see with the camera, but you've got a ridiculously poppin' adventurine green in there. Really difficult to see with the camera, but
sun shining on it, it will sparkle.
Yeah, I promise you, this is going to be, and it's totally unique. Chris pulled this out from a long time ago, and I had never seen this style done before. It's a really cool, one-of-a-kind
You know who taught me that? Ruth King.
Ruth King?
Yeah, that was when I went to Pilchuck, a session at Pilchuck, and Ruth King did these amazing pieces, and I was like, whoa, and I was like, how can we turn that into a product? And that's what we did.
Very cool.
So I like that it's got a magnet on it too, because now she can hang like Riker's drawings on it and put that on there.
Right on the fridge.
Totally a practical, usable item.
I don't know if Riker's a drawer. I know he's a huge Lego guy.
Well,
he's a builder.
All right, how about when you take a test at school and he gets an A?
Pretty good.
You know, there's always something to put on the fridge. A photo with the Easter Bunny.
Yeah. A lot of love coming in for Kelly. Very cool. Look at she said. Look at that. It's a lot of explanation points. All right, so we're going to make the giveaway now. So that's the giveaway question for you. You send that to enews@glassacademy.com. We're going to take all the entries for a week here, and then next week we're going to be giving away this snail.
So you got to come to the show and see if you won.
Yeah. Is next week April 19th?
No.
So is this going to be the first snail in someone's hands?
Yes. So look out.
So there's big stakes here.
Big stakes. And what was I going to say? I don't know.
All right, well, let's check out the last. And one of my favorite, this one got left behind. One of my favorite pieces over here. This is the Brook Tribe, folks. These are freshwater snails. These guys are straight out the brook. It's really difficult to catch them sometimes, but when you catch them, sometimes these guys have gold accents to them, deep, beautiful blues with gold accents. Some of them are clear, extra watery. Sometimes you got hints of white in there. It's one of my favorite color combos, the blue, white, and gold combination, and these are watery, these are tasty, and these are super cool. Of course, they're all facing the opposite direction of the spiral, but Uncle Dennis has got this thing figured out. He just had him kiss. I just saw it happen. Oh yeah. Super cool. This is one of my favorites right here. Straight up deep blue with clear and an optic ridges right there. I mean, it can't get any more simple and just super clean than that guy right there. He's got the short eyes. It's almost like someone just touched his eyes a little bit and they started to shrink back down. Everyone's got different eyes. It's super amazing. But these guys are super
How did you do that one pattern, the dots on the one back?
This one was interesting, and we took a look at this one. This one I did with recycled glass underneath and put one very light layer of white on top, and then I used the torch to burn away the white in all those spots. So it's kind of got like a leopard spotted pattern on there. Pretty unique. All right, well, we're going to take it away. I'm going to go for a gather. A lot of those were that deep recycle that we had, one of the deeper tanks of recycle. And I'm really curious because we just refilled the recycle tank and we've got a beautiful light blue. So check it out. This is what we were working with before, a much deeper blue. And now having a new tank, a fresh tank at the top, the lighter colors seem to stay at the top, and you can see how that one's a much lighter shade of blue. So I'm going to make one out of that lighter blue, and I think we're going to go for a gold body on it as well, and let's see what we get.
Okay, thank you, Don, for putting the link in there. I wanted to show, these are our percola reeds, so you can kind of see how Jake was making the snail. He would wrap these up, and that would be the snail. This is a class that we have. It's happening this weekend. There are a few more slots. We talked about this last week, and then those slots sold over the weekend. So I just want to give you a heads up if you're local, you want to try a class, there are a few slots left on the website. This is called a percola reed. It's in a copper pipe right here that you can put in your garden, a house plant, or in your garden outside. So similar to how Jake did that last one, we rolled the snail up.
I'm going into the mold with it.
So as the show goes on, the day is getting later. It's starting to get dark here again. But gone are the days of when it was dark at 5.
Yeah, it's becoming beautiful weather. It's almost completely springtime. I thought it would be warm by now, but today was beautiful, and I'm a fiend for springtime. After a long winter, changes my mood, changes the energy of everything I'm doing when it gets warm out. So I'm real happy to be having that warm weather coming through.
Anyone have any volunteer jobs they do? I just met with a friend today, and she just, Mayberry State Park, she's feeding the animals.
That's cool.
Yeah, her new summer job. Donkeys and ducks and all kinds of stuff.
Well, I didn't have to sign any waivers, but I got to feed the ducks this morning.
Ha! Funny. Feed them good stuff.
Yeah, I had some vegetable crackers.
There you go.
We
I don't know.
had,
What do ducks eat anyways? Algae?
Yeah, and whatever else they get their bills on.
Ready?
We had sardines. I bought canned sardines with Christina last night.
To feed the ducks?
No, for us to try and eat.
Were they any good?
They weren't bad. Has anybody else eaten or eat sardines out there? I guess they're like the healthiest fish.
Aren't they for Caesar salads?
No, that's anchovies.
Oh.
And I love anchovies, but sardines are a whole other ballgame.
Yeah, you're on your own there.
We got it in a mustard sauce. Pulled
Yeah.
them out, they were all slimy and had all their goo on them, opened up the can, and then I realized instead of like biting off a big chunk and seeing the bone sticking out of it and all the mustard juice sliming all over it, it makes a lot more sense to mix it up with a fork and make it like a pate.
Disgusting.
And yeah, it was just, the bones are so thin that they just melt away, like they break it, it's no big deal. And that's part of the nutrients. You get a lot of like calcium from the bones. You eat sardines up with Dennis? No. They weren't bad at all, honestly. It just tasted like some kind of fish. We got a hot sauce one and we got one in water too, so we're gonna try all of them.
I think that pellet came from your dad. It's not anything I'd eat.
Christina wasn't a huge fan.
It's nice to be adventurous, though.
We gotta try it.
How many people have had a durian?
That's a good one.
The durian is like one of my favorite fruits ever.
All-time favorite.
Fresh
You guys know what a durian is? That big, spiky, bad-smelling fruit?
From Thailand.
Thailand.
Mix it with mango, put it in a blender, a little cinnamon, touch of salt.
Let's see. I just heard from Julie, who's a pretty knowledgeable individual, that it's not good to give birds
Well, crackers.
crackers.
I know, that's what I was saying. That there's got to be something.
Yeah, I got to think about something else to give him. I did think as he was like knocking it down, I was wondering if he was gonna like need a drink of water. I almost wanted to hand him a little shot glass of water and let him wash it down, because it was dry. Those crackers were dry. I only gave him like 2, so.
That was like kind of when we were kids. We'd go to the Detroit Zoo and throw marshmallows at the hippos.
What?
Because they were soft. But like, I don't think you could do that now anymore.
Nope.
But I mean, here, have a bunch of sugar zoo animal that eats wild plants.
That's hilarious.
But you could, you know, they were soft. You weren't hurting them. It's ridiculous. I know.
So funny. All right, we're gonna do a gold body. One coat of that size 1. Bling and gold. All right, gotta line this guy up. We can't have him facing the wrong way or leaning too much the opposite way. That's really the trickiest thing about these is keeping them on center. And I'm gonna put so much pressure to flatten that bottom that it's very important that he's lined up correct.
Into the gold.
Beautiful. Oh, big shouts out to everyone watching on YouTube, our VIP supporters, $4.99 a month. Appreciate that, and like I've talked about many times in the experimental show, this show, it really helps knowing that we've got a...
Hey, we got a tip just because. The guy said, I really appreciate everything that you guys do.
Wow, when was that?
Just the other day.
Nice.
Yeah.
That is an option, and I hope you all know that twice a year, take a flash, twice a year, all those tips that folks add to their online orders, and they add on to other orders around the shop, those tips get split between all the employees twice a year. And it's a pretty cool thing. It's kind of like, especially the Christmas time, it feels like a Christmas bonus. And they do add up, and I know everyone really appreciates that. So we appreciate your tips and the extra love, big time.
Yeah, based upon how many hours you work, so it's
exactly
split between everyone. Not including me. I don't take it. All right, so this one needs reduction, correct?
Yeah, so I'm gonna give it 1 or 2 more heats to let that gold come out a little bit, and then we'll go for it. This guy's cool, though.
Hey, anyone out there watching the Red Wings? How's that going?
Yeah, how
are they winning? Hi, everyone from New Zealand. We got Kay in the house.
This guy's got a big old bubble right down at the bottom of his shell there. That's pretty cool. That's pretty unique.
You know what?
Huh.
I forgot about that. They take pumpkins to the zoo animals. That totally makes sense.
That's interesting.
Right? You know what? This is hilarious. Not only are like we talking about like durians and different things like that, but look at all the stuff we're learning. When we don't know a question, we ask everyone and we get answers.
Yeah, look at this right here from Dana. Feed your ducks chopped lettuce or frozen peas.
Frozen peas.
Figured that out
cool.
real quick.
And not only are they like educating us, someone else in the feed is like, oh my gosh, now I know what to feed ducks.
Big time.
All those things like you were too embarrassed to say, you threw marshmallows at hippos.
They're all coming out.
I'll make you, I'll come out and say it so you all can just be like, what?
We'll take one for the team. Oh, the blinging iridescence. Let's do one more light one on there. There's a lot of blues in this iridescence.
Want to know a little secret? Jake and I get first pick of our favorites.
It's true.
I hate to say it, but
very true.
There's one thing about working here that you get first pick. I was kind of liking this one. That's what I was getting.
I like this one a lot. I love the light blue too. It's just switching it up, something different. Looks so cool. I was loving the dark blue. Now I'm loving the light blue.
And I think like the way the glass moves, it's just so like goopy. So the snail just works.
Right. I do got to say, as much as you want first pick, Mom, you can't have this one.
I know. I thought about that.
So that is just a bummer.
How would they ever know, Jake?
It's a good question. They know we have our honor.
So it goes.
Aw, yeah.
Door on the left? Nah.
Lined them up. That guy's leaning, he's pretty much straight. He's kind of leaning the other way. They all got a little wobble depending on how they went down. Send some love in there, folks. We can't hear your applause, but we can see it.
All right.
All right.
You know what we've never done, which I'd like to do? It's kind of like, where's the tool? Can you walk around the shop and let them know what we do to clean up? In terms of like turning off the equipment?
Yeah, I could do that.
You know what I mean? Because it's a moment. There's a lot of stuff that
It's definitely a moment. That's why I was like, whoa, there's a lot of things to talk about there.
Well,
I'll do one quick walk around. It's a good idea. We could walk through that right now. I think it's a really cool idea.
All right, let's go the first thing that's using the most energy.
I'll go right through the whole thing. If you got any final notes to get organized before closing up the show?
No.
First things first, there's 3 things, and I've gone through this process multiple times over the past couple months. I'm teaching Brandon, our assistant who works twice a week, and he does an amazing job, lives right down the street. and newly Matt, who you guys met briefly via the chat on the show earlier. And he's doing an amazing job, but I've totally taught them. And our 2 new instructors that are local glass artists, I've explained the shop to them. So let me run through my exact saying. You come over to the furnace. This guy's cooking. This guy's probably $1 a minute right now when this thing's on. So you're very aware of when you're using it, how hot it is, and what the deal is. So first things first, cut the gas, cut the blower off. Turn those off, be done with that. Don't mind our beautiful Crocs here. If it was lunchtime, I'd cut it, put the door on that, hold the energy in there for a good 25 minutes while we take our hour of lunch, and then I turn it back on when there's 20 or so minutes left, and it comes back at the temperature real quick. Then you come right over here, you got the pipe warmer. This guy, burning gas, cut him off, be done with that. He's all done. That's just straight gas with a little air valve on it. Then you got to decide, are we charging, are we adding glass to the furnace, or are we not? If we're not adding glass, turn the furnace down 150 degrees. Let it cook a little cooler overnight. It's like when you leave your house, it turns down a little bit, or you turn it down manually and let that thing not be heating up your house a ton during the day. So that's what I'll do back there. I'll do the same thing with the recycle furnace over here. Then you get to the rest of the cleanup of the shop. Michelle pointed at the torch. As minimal as it is, that is using gas right there. So first things first, you probably come over here and cut off the 2 tanks. You got your oxygen, and we got our propane tank down here.
Hey, and I'm going to give a shout out to Stephen D. Edwards. When I was in college, you had to learn how to move these. Did you ever do that? You had to roll them. Yeah, so that's how we get them in and stuff. They're all strapped down. There was a lot of safety things. That was the cool thing for me to go to college, was to learn a lot about the safety. You know, how far is it from the furnace? We have the city come in here and OSHA come in here to go over all our equipment and make sure it's regulated right, because we want the safety of everyone.
Yeah, that's the truth. Once those guys are cut, then what I actually should have done before that is come over to the tool that we learned about today, folks, the GB4, and we're gonna set this annealer in cycle. The trick when we do these live shows is we're blowing glass until 8 p.m. So when I come in the morning, these are not down in temperature. So I can't come in tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. when I get here at the shop and get really excited and open the door and see that margarita glass and those snails we made. Because if I do that and it's still at 400 degrees, all those pieces will crack no matter what. So you gotta wait it out. Usually I'll get to open it by lunch on Wednesdays. So I'll set this into step number 2 by hitting E2, boom. Now it says the cycle is running and it's on a 8-step, let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7-step annealing cycle that it's gonna run through overnight and bring that down to room temperature so that we can have the glass we just made. Especially important with the thicker snails to have that really follow that process. I'm not gonna get down to it because it's gonna take me a good 15 or 20 minutes, but the first thing I like to do is put away all your colors. You don't want as much dust coming down. You don't ever leave colors out overnight, and you gotta be very careful when you're putting them away to not mix any of the colors, accidentally put them in the wrong tray. The colors, other than the natural materials we use, the natural gas, are the most expensive thing in the shop. So you take very good care when putting those away and taking them out. Then you got the tools, set those down in their appropriate positions. I'll wrap up the hose to the torch. I will put away the pipes.
Don't leave the tools out. Like, why don't you leave the tools out overnight?
That's a great question, and we've had employees, I've had friends of mine, and I've had people say, you know, we're coming in here at 8 a.m. in the morning, why don't we just leave the tools out? And for me, it's kind of like a dignity, a shop dignity thing. You know, you take care of your tools, you put them where they belong, they look good, everyone knows where they are. There's gonna be no hobbit blowing glass in the middle of the night tonight, but if we were to take a day off and Michelle came in and wanted to make something, or Chris was in the shop wanting to make something, or anybody, they have their appropriate spot for a reason. And we do all that, put them where they belong, everyone knows where they belong, and then we do a deep shop clean. I'm pretty particular about sweeping the shop. Everyone we've hired knows that you always sweep the shop at the end of the day. Even if you didn't really do much, we didn't blow a ton of glass today, I got a few pieces here, but you go around into all the crevices, pull out the extra glass, and make the shop look good because we got public in here and we're proud of our shop.
And this was all from classes on the weekend, the drawings on the floor. It's kind of like a fresh palette. We'll scrub this off. And so if we want to sketch something out, if Jake's doing some teaching, he can draw it on the floor and start new.
And it's nice to look back on some of the pieces too and remember what went down and kind of compare. And I've got a couple different checklists that I've been writing down for the new hires. It's nice too. And for me to get the day organized, it helps my brain out a little bit when we line up the plan for the day and kind of get check marks as we get it completed so they can kind of see where the progress of the day is going. It's pretty cool. It's nice to use chalk too. It's just kind of fun to be on the floor a little bit. But
Maybe we should do hopscotch one day.
Hopscotch would be cool. Draw some hopscotch.
When they come in for class. We have a private group this Thursday. Maybe we could hopscotch them in the glass shop.
Well, that's it, folks. We're going to look over the comments as we always do. We're going to read over the e-news questions. If you have any extra questions, folks, send them our way. That was a beautiful show. We had a great time. I hope the Wings are winning right now. And we appreciate all of our VIP supporters. They should be showing up on the screen here pretty soon, and you'll see who's been naughty or nice, who's been giving us a little extra love here at the Glass Academy. And
thanks. We'll see you on the nailer reveal this Thursday.
This Thursday, we'll show them off. Those are going to be in the pile.
Cool.
Have an amazing rest of your Tuesday. Go Wings.
Go.